Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And today, well, today is Hump Day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
Well, hello, Mr. Piwowarski. How are we doing today? I don't think that Mr. Piwowarski is able to hear me right now, but you know what I got to do? All I got to do is do that, and now I know that Mr. Piwowarski should be able to hear me. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that he can. Well, folks, welcome to the Rundown for today. Once again, I will be your host, Craig DeLuz, as we work out these technical difficulties. We will soon, one of these days, be able to talk one to another and have a good old time, But before we do, let's go ahead and, well, since today's Hump Day, let's go ahead and let's just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We're going to start off here with Hitman Industries. That's right, Hitman Industries. If you are looking to do a brand new build or you're looking to rebuild your current rifle, check out Hitman Industries. Chances are, if you've bought an AR recently, you probably already have one of their barrels. Check them out. They have rifle and pistol caliber barrels available for you today. And if you're a first responder and you've never purchased from them before, you can get a nice little discount. So check them out, hitmanindustries.net. Then you've got the California Republican Assembly, referred to by Ronald Reagan as the conscience of the Republican Party. You can find them at cragop.org. That's cragop.org. If you want to be a part of California's future today, join CRA. By the way, that doesn't mean you have to move to California. Just saying. Not saying, just saying. Anyway, moving right along. And then you've got Hog Holsters. That's helping Americans wear guns, HAWG holsters.com. You use the discount code The Rundown, you can get a holster at a discount on The Rundown. And they have the best in tactical and concealed carry holsters, so check them out today at hogholsters.com. Finally, we've got uscombatgear.com, the best in tactical gear. Whatever you are looking for, outdoor gear, cold weather, warm weather, rainy weather, you name it. They have all things tactical except the guns. Check them out. Veteran owned and operated, fast shipping, excellent selection, great prices. uscombatgear.com. And now that we have gotten through that, I'm going to see if Mr. Piwowarski, can you hear me, Mr. P?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, Mikey P, I can hear you. Yes. All right, we are on it. In it to win it.
Jam on it.
All right, sir. I cannot help but notice your colorful. Was that a soccer jersey that you're wearing right over there? That's a.
It's called a football kit. Football kit.
Football kit.
They don't call it a jersey. They call it a kit.
Ah. Okay. So you're wearing a soccer jersey.
Football kit.
Okay. Well, you're wearing a football kit. What in what honor are you wearing your football kit?
I got it today. Came in the mail today.
Oh, nice. What team is it representing?
Oh, the Palace, Crystal Palace Premier League football.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Is that your squad, or is that the squad you're going to be going to go see?
That's my squad and the squad I'm going to see.
Excellent. That is going to be a good time ahead there in Great Britain, watching some football in your
little South London and proud, baby. South London and proud. Let's go
South
Palace.
You would have to be going to the South.
We go into the South. They get the same rules there, Craig, so you can't go.
Do they have gators, though, is the question.
Oh, I'm bringing them with me. I'm bringing them with me.
You're bringing gators with you. Why does that not surprise me in the bit that you would be bringing gators with you?
That's it. I'm bringing little baby albino ones. So.
Okay. So you're not going to be bringing them as shoes.
No. That's only when they get bad do they turn into shoes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, well, only when they get bad do they turn into shoes. And speaking of bad, let's get into today's stories. And once again, I wish I could say that this was a big-time surprise for us, but as I'm sure you know, it wasn't. The articles of impeachment were for Alejandro Mayorkas, the border is secure guy. Yeah. He was basically officially impeached by the House of Representatives, and articles of impeachment were sent over to the Senate. And as soon as they got there, let's just say that they wasted absolutely no time refusing to do their jobs over there in the Senate. Senate Democrats basically killed both articles of impeachment against Secretary Mayorkas. It says here, both articles of impeachment against Department of Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas were deemed unconstitutional by the Senate on Wednesday in two party line votes. The first of two articles of impeachment alleged Mayorkas engaged in the, quote, willful and systematic refusal to comply with the law, end quote, regarding the southern border in his capacity as DHS secretary. The second claimed that Mayorkas had breached the public trust. And I don't think, Mike, there is any doubt that both of those are true, that he is guilty, in fact, of both. I thought that when they receive these, they're supposed to hold a trial and then determine whether or not they're going to find him guilty or not. Instead, they decided we're flat out not going to do our job. We're just going to deem that they're unconstitutional and toss them.
Yeah, straight out the door, right? That shows there was absolutely no partisanship at all, Craig. It was strictly by the rules, right? Yeah, I didn't hear one comment on it. This was so strictly partisan that they didn't take one comment on the floor on this. All they said was, up for the vote, let's get it done. It's just absolutely crazy.
And what that says to me is this, is that if you live in a community that is being impacted by the border crisis, meaning I'm not just talking about if you live in a border state, if you live in one of these sanctuary states or sanctuary cities that is now basically overrun and over budget now, spending money in order to pay for those who have entered our country illegally, you're being impacted. And what the Senate basically just said is, it's okay if members of the current presidential administration not only, number one, refuse to do their jobs, refuse to follow the law when it comes to securing our southern border, but then they also lie to you and they say, no, our border's secure. There's nobody entering our country illegally. Our borders are secure. I mean, come on, man.
None at all, right? You got the mayor in Los Angeles asking the wealthy homeowners to give money property so they could put illegals in there. You've got the mayor of Denver, Colorado, saying he's taking $8 million away from the police so he could take care of the immigrants that are homeless there. But Craig, there's no illegal border problem.
Absolutely none. There's absolutely no border problems. For those of you who are homeless in areas that say they have no room for you at the inn because they've taken in illegal immigrants, or for you who are vets who've lost your place in various different housing establishments in order to make room for immigrants coming across the border. Sorry, nothing to see here. The president has no obligation in any of it. And the funny part is, this is the number one issue. According to all of the polls that have been out there, it's the number one issue that voters are making their decision on. That, and then the budget and inflation, which are pretty much the same thing. But that and inflation in the economy are the number one and number two issues. Both of them are dramatically affected by our president, and he is refusing to do his job. In fact, he's saying that Bidenomics is working. That's how we can afford all these undocumented
and with
visitors.
With his 33% approval rating, Craig, he's going to be doing fine. He might be doing a good job.
Well, yeah. Then there's that. Anyway, there is absolutely, positively no doubt that that this is going to come back and bite Democrats in the rear. Clearly, it's got to bite them in the rear because they are literally refusing to enforce our southern border. and that's got to have consequences. At least I'm hoping. Maybe I have too much faith in the American voter.
Well, and Craig, they're putting it. I mean, they're betting betting the farm on this, right? Because they let them in. They're under the belief that whether it be this November or November 4 years from now, when a Republican takes office, that they're going to allow them to stay, that they're going to give them amnesty. But Republicans know if they let them stay, Craig, it's going to change the face of the Electoral College around the country. All right, it's going to change the face of the House of Representatives because of the amount of people that live there. Remember, that's based on how many people live there, not how many registered voters live in the district. So I got news for them. When Republicans come in, 6-8 million people, they're going home. They're going home.
Well, you know what's interesting, man, is when you look at it, they're literally the number of people who have entered into our southern border since Biden became president is greater than the population of 36 states. Think about that. The population of 36 states, greater than the population of 36 states, has walked across our southern border. Yeah. How is that sustainable? And that this is not slowing down. It's picking up. It's increasing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah.
But hey, you know what?
I guess all we can hope for is a flood maybe down there. I don't know.
Yeah, but he doesn't deserve to lose his job because, well, Democrats.
Flausen.
Flusen. There you go. It's the Flusen.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Biden freed Afghan suicide bomber. Now, this is one that dates all the way back to the early days of the Biden administration, or at least back to the summer of 2021, and what happened there in Afghanistan. The pullout of Afghanistan, which had to be the worst pull. His pullout game is not strong at all. Definitely not at all. So the Biden administration confirmed that an Afghan suicide bomber was freed from a prison abandoned during U.S. withdrawal. It says the Biden administration on Monday confirmed that the Afghan suicide bomber who killed more than a dozen U.S. service members at the Kabul airport in 2021 had been freed from a prison abandoned during the U.S. military's withdrawal from Afghanistan. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul, in a Monday statement, said the Defense Department report revealed that the suicide bomber who detonated an explosive belt at the airport's Abbey Gate and killed 13 U.S. service members and injured 45 more in August 2021 was Abdul Rahman al-Lagari, is an ISIS-K terrorist who was freed from the Bagram prison by the Taliban. So in other words, Mike, those servicemen, those 13 servicemen who are dead, the 45 who were injured because of our hapless pullout, because of how we pulled out, not because we pulled out, but how we pulled out. The fact that we just left the prison to them, didn't bother. Why wouldn't we at least just take the prisoners with us just to make sure they didn't get back into the field of battle? Nope. We cut and run, and servicemen died because of it.
Yeah, and not only cut and run, Craig. Remember, left the vehicles behind, left the munitions behind, left the weapons behind that they used to create the explosion that killed the 13 servicemen. It's every bit of it. I mean, we gave them the gun, we gave them the bullets, we gave them the motive and opportunity, and that's what they did. They killed these 13 service members there at the airport, and like you said, wounded 45 others.
Mike, in some courts, the president might be found, or at least the U.S. might be found guilty as an accessory to the crime. Like you said,
listen. I think he's a principal party to the crime.
Probably
he's the one that gave the order to leave the munitions behind. He's a principal party to the crime.
Yep. Name one part of it he didn't participate in. And the only thing he didn't do was strap the bomb onto himself and carry it into the servicemen. Now, mind you, I think that if he had done that, he would have forgotten which direction to go, And it would have taken him a while. It would have taken him a while to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig, listen, nothing will ever happen to him because you've already seen what's going to happen. He's not going to be mentally fit to stand trial. He wouldn't be mentally fit to stand against impeachment trial. He's not mentally fit to be charged with unsecure secret documents. He's definitely not going to be mentally fit enough to be charged with any other crime.
Yeah, I just I want to say Mike, the thing that gets me is that I feel like we're playing this game with one hand tied behind our back, because we're sitting up here, we're trying to play fair, and they're not interested in playing fair. They're going to lie, they're going to cheat, and they're going to steal. And in the court of public opinion, they're getting away with it.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to take, and hope it does not come to it, Craig. But I believe it's going to take some of their bloodshed to end this, because it's kind of like Mike Tyson says, right? Everybody's got a plan until you punch them in the face. Well, they're executing their plan right now, Craig. Nobody's punched them in the face yet, and I'm talking the physical punch in the face, and then they'll know. Oh, wait a second, this is not the game I want to play.
I'm hoping, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping as I watch some of this stuff go on, where I'm watching, the guy from NPR step up and talk about the bias reporting, as we're watching known liberal media member or comedians and entertainers say, you know what, some of this stuff just isn't right, that there will be a moment of sanity, and Americans will wake up and will start heading back on the right track, and the pendulum will swing in the opposite direction. I realize that I'm hoping against hope, and I realize the odds are against that happening. But I'm really hoping that that's the case, because otherwise, you're right. The only real way is, someone going to have to get punched in the mouth.
And Craig, and listen, I think we do it the same way they did us. We spend 2-3 years rounding them up one by one, the same way they did the January 6th tourists.
Yep. Well, they may be getting out soon.
Oh yeah.
Very soon. They
soon.
may definitely be getting out soon.
We'll let them drive the jail vans.
There you go. We'll let them drive the jail vans. All right. No guns for drug addicts. That's right. According to Bloomberg Law, there was a recent decision relating to the use of illicit drugs and illegal drugs and the use of firearms. It says here, federal gun ban for drug users survives constitutional challenge. It says a federal criminal law prohibiting certain drug users from possessing a firearm is facially constitutional. The Eighth Circuit ruled Wednesday, saying the regulation comports with the U.S. Supreme Court's 2022 Bruin decision expanding gun rights. Judge David R. Strauss said 18 U.S.C. 922 G3, which bars unlawful controlled substance users or addicts of a controlled substance from possessing a firearm, is similar to historical U.S. laws disarming the mentally ill and founding era proscription on taking up arms to terrify the people. Quote, just like its historical counterparts, 922G3 does not criminalize mere possession, Strauss said in the majority opinion. It requires another act, the taking of drugs, which itself can cause terrifying and dangerous behavior. Well, that is interesting. That Mike, that could mean that Hunter Biden gonna wind up doing some jail time.
He going bye. He going bye. Yeah, it's this is I think what we expected to see, Craig. Eighth Circuit, by the way, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas. So from the north central region of the United States. We fully anticipated this, Craig. When we talk about when they say all gun laws are illegal, that's what Bruin means, and that's what the left has been pushing. We've said no. Nobody said the mentally ill can have guns. Nobody said a 4-year-old could take a 12 gauge to school. That we're going based on history and tradition of our founding fathers going, that clown doesn't get a gun. He's nuts. Or that guy's the town chronic junk and stays in the stockade all the time. He doesn't get a gun. All right, that's what we've gone with here. We've gone with the actual, Craig, the actual definition of common sense.
The actual definition of common sense. Because if you are using a mind-altering substance, then yes, it definitely fits the definition of once again, being mentally impaired. Some people are permanently mentally impaired. Some people are temporarily mentally impaired. And their impairment also has to make them dangerous. And I think there's a long history of people saying that, people who are under the control of a controlled substance are in fact a danger to themselves or others if they are in possession of a firearm.
Yeah. And many of them drive on the highways here in Florida, just as an observation.
Yeah, many of them probably also shoot firearms at the same time as well.
I don't know about that, but they're mentally ill or definitely driving in front of me in Florida.
I didn't say they did it legally. I just said, wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Maybe as they're driving their pontoon boats.
Yes, there we go. They're fan boat. It's a fan boat down here.
Oh, they call it a fan boat. Okay.
Got a fan boat.
Got it. Okay. All right. So the geniuses over at Harvard, over at their newspaper, I think it's called the Harvard Crimson, decided to do a report, or I don't know if it was a report or if it was a study, but the Harvard Crimson actually claimed this, Mike. Harvard Crimson claims it's, quote, unclear whether men have an athletic advantage over women. This is according to Breitbart News reporting. It says the leftists at the Harvard Crimson have spoken out against transgender athlete bans and claimed that the evidence to support the case that men have physical advantage over women is, quote, less conclusive, end quote. However, in the process of making the assertion, the article ignored all evidence to the contrary to support their own claim that transgender athlete participation is wholly benign. The college paper's April 16th editorial entitled, "There Are Many Obstacles Facing Women's Sports. Trans Athletes Aren't One," writer Jonathan G. Wan, I'm going to say Jan. I like Jan better. Writes for the Crimson editorial board that the, quote, science is, quote, less conclusive than, quote, the transgender women hold a biological edge over cisgendered opponents. The science-free citation of using the term cisgender aside, Jan goes on to insist that science proves that men who take female hormones to transition lose their male strength. Now, Mike, I don't know what science he is quoting. I think I am no expert on biology or anything like that, but I've at least looked at enough of these reports where people say that the science says and not seen any science to feel comfortable saying there's no science that supports what dude just said.
Oh, Craig, there is. There's political science, and that's the science they're quoting here.
Okay, you got me.
This is all partisan political science, right, Craig? There you go. Listen, if I say it enough, it'll come true, right? If you control the media, you control the message. You control the message, you control the masses. We just keep putting the articles out there saying that, no, there's no advantage. There's no advantage. There's no advantage. We're going to ignore bone density. We're going to ignore muscle mass and muscle density. No, we're going to ignore all of it, Craig. Every bit of it.
I mean, just look at this photo of Leah Thomas next to the second and third place swimmers, right? Now, there's no way that you can tell me that being 6'4" when your next closest competitor is under 6 feet tall, is 5'9". There's no way that you can tell me that this person does not have a physical advantage over the other athletes, especially since that individual went through puberty as a male, meaning They did not lose bone density. They did not lose. Muscle fiber. They didn't lose anything except, well, maybe a few points on their testosterone when they decided to start taking estrogen.
Yeah, it's comical. This should be written in cartoon, right? It's so comical.
Hey, got a message here from the Gun Foodie, our good friend Mr. Patrick Collins. I think he does this so he gets a free commercial every show. It says here, our involvement in international affairs has a horrific record. Well, I'm sure he's talking about Biden. Here's the one thing I'll say to you, Patrick. I would say our record when it comes to the Biden administration, because as the former Secretary of was he Defense or Security, Gates or CIA, one of the three, whichever one Gates was, said that Joe Biden has been wrong on every foreign policy decision he's ever made. Well, folks, let me tell you, his record is right on. It has not improved one bit.
Yeah, he was Secretary of Defense.
Secretary of Defense. Well, needless to say, Joe Biden has been wrong, has been bad on just about every one of those decisions. Anyway, getting back over here to talking about Harvard, I think especially, Mike, as you start to see more and more science is coming out that says that doing gender-affirming care does not improve mental health outcomes. It does not improve health outcomes, especially for minors. I just wonder what world is this individual living in?
Bizarro world, right? It's opposite day there. Everything, wherever you want to go. They're living in fantasy land with Rourke and tattoo.
Yeah, that's all it can be, because
yeah,
I just love how we're the ones who are accused of being anti-science. Yet clearly here we are, the science, and now the scientists are starting to say, no, this whole transgender thing is, no.
Yeah.
And yet they're still in denial.
Yeah, these are the same ones, Craig, that say the Wuhan coronavirus did not come from the Wuhan Corona Laboratory in Wuhan, China.
Right. Kind of like, the explosion of chocolate goodness in Hershey, Pennsylvania did not come.
That's right.
Had nothing to do with the fact that there is a giant chocolate factory owned by Hershey's Corporation in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Nothing at all.
No correlation whatsoever.
Just a coincidence,
Okay, folks. Well, it's a coincidence that we have now reached our parting shots. Our parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholster.com. That's HAWG holster.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Now, just the other day, we had a number of protests that were taking place, and they were all shouting, death to Israel and death to America. And because that is the population that President Joe Biden has decided that he is going to hang his campaign on, he has decided to change his campaign slogan. It says Biden unveils official campaign slogan, Death to America.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Also, Mike, also coming from, by the way, that was from the Babylon Bee, and also coming from the Babylon Bee, a lot of folks or at least a lot of folks on the left are upset that the number one draft pick, Caitlin Clark for the WNBA, well, she's not going to be making nearly as much as the number one draft pick for the NBA, despite the fact that they don't bring in near as much money. And people are angry. In fact, people are so angry about the low WNBA salaries that they are prepared to do anything except watch the WNBA.
Yeah, $76,000 a year for 40 games that she'll be playing, and it's probably too much based on the amount of tickets sold. In
a league that loses money every year. I have not seen the breakdown in terms of if there are any teams that make any money, any individual teams that make any money, but as a whole, the league loses money every year. They are subsidized by the men. So I'm trying to figure why would you pay them more so that you can lose more money? If you're upset about it, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Go buy the swag. Watch the games. Go to the games.
Yeah.
If you're upset about it, kick in your cash, and then they will get paid more.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
I can't understand, Craig. Why are they mad at us? Why are they mad at you? Why are they mad at me?
Because you don't want to watch a bunch of women play basketball.
Yeah, why don't some women go to the game?
Exactly. Go to the game. If you're upset about it, go to the game.
Go to the game. Go to the game. Pack the stands. Make a difference.
Bam. Problem solved. Simple enough. You know how they say, Mike, history, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it?
Yes.
So this was a great example. If on the left you have Democrats in the 1920s, and that appears to be a guy in a white Klan hood with a little black, white, and red logo on it, signifying the Ku Klux Klan. On the right, you have the Democrats in 2020, or actually today, or as of 2020, a guy in a black, I don't want to call it it's not a hood, it's a ski mask, also bearing a black, white, and red logo, looking oddly and eerily the same and identifying it as progress.
Very true. Although the guy on the left, he probably had a penis.
The guy on the left probably had a penis. The guy on the
guy on the right.
The guy on the right.
The guy on the right. It's up for grabs. You don't know.
Do we know it's a guy?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know. It could be a girl with a penis if you go by today's standards.
This is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's hilarious. Okay. Well, folks, it's about that time. So let's go ahead and it's about time to go. But before we go, we got to do one more thing, and we got to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. Talked with the guys over there today. Make sure you reach out to them. You can get all the AR barrels you want in rifle and pistol caliber, any length you desire for your next rifle or pistol build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you're looking for the best in field gear, best in tactical gear, cold weather gear, hot weather gear, whatever you need for your outdoor gear and indoor gear, get on over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything but the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors, and make sure you tell them that it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. So until then, y'all have fun, take care, and be safe.